As you can see, we've got a little bit of snow coverage over here. This is the beginning of February in 2022, and we have a snowstorm, a winter storm, at least in the Midwest we do. I'm located in Indiana, and we are for the most part snowed in. This suggests that you stay off the roads if you don't absolutely have to be on the roads. So one thing though is that imperfect weather conditions make perfect video opportunities for me. So today I'm going to record the Infiniti FX50, show you how it behaves in the snow. I've got a 2-camera setup going on. Here's the other one. Hello. And so I'm just going to drive it on my driveway. I'll just be going back and forth a few times, maybe get into the grass, into the lawn somewhere. And I'm trying to highlight 3 different things. One, all Infiniti FX50s come from the factory with all-wheel drive. Okay, so all-wheel drive system. Number 2, there's a snow mode button. What does that do for you? Number 3 is going to be about VDC. I've talked about VDC, vehicle dynamic control, and how that helps you in getting out of less than ideal traction conditions, but that was for the rear-wheel drive sedans, so I'd like to do this one specifically on the FX50. And I do have, like, I guess it's a perfect thing, honestly. Imperfect tires, perfect for demonstrating these technologies. I don't know if you can see it here, but the tread depth on the tires is not very good, but I've been wishing for a storm for this very reason, so that so that I could demonstrate what this does. And as I said, all I'm doing is just driving forward, back and forth. Let's turn this fan speed down a little bit so that it keeps working. At the same time, we can at least hear ourselves talk over here. So what I'll be doing here, the car is going to be in automatic mode rather than manual, right? This is manual. It will be in automatic. Manual is like that. That's manual. So it will be in D, and I'm just going to drive it like you would normally. What I'm trying to do is just go forward, go back, go forward, go back, and that's about it. So let's go ahead and start with, it's in park right now. Let's put it in reverse. I want to go back as far as possible, and I'm thinking of this experiment as I go. All I know is that I wanted snow. So I'll drive out, assuming you're driving out very gently, you know. My foot is not on the gas, it's just going like it wants to. So for the most part, I can go, right? Let's put it in D. And again, my foot is not on the gas. It's just close enough to the brake in case I need to stop, okay? How far will it go? It's getting there, you know? That's a crazy thing. It goes wherever it wants to. So now what I'm about to do is I wish to kick this into higher gear, and I want you to see what all-wheel drive does whenever I need traction. Okay, so put it in reverse, but now I'm going to stomp on the gas. Okay, go. My ABS kind of took a little bit of time before stopping my brake, and stomp on the gas on the way back, going to the front. I thought someone crept up behind me. So the pumping, the weird buzzing sound you're hearing, that's my ABS module basically pumping hard, the servo motors doing their thing. And I want to explain something else. So I think right now, if you go outside, you'll be able to see what it looks like on a normal drive. As I said, sometimes when driving, you just want to be gentle because you saw it moved. It went anywhere it wanted to, or anywhere it needed to. If you just gently ease into the gas. Let me see. I'm kind of guessing where the road is right now. I want to see how far it can go. Look, I'm moving, you know. The vehicle's not really struggling right now. It might do a little bit of a wiggle, but for the most part, I can go. And as I said, this is with less than ideal tires. And this is an FX. I can stop, switch gears, and drive wherever it is I want to go. Again, this is, if you're doing this gently, it's not so much of a fight. Okay, let's do this, keep moving. Again, I can go anywhere I want. This is good. All right. So first demonstration is that if you're not acting silly, and as long as you don't have like black ice underneath, you will get wherever you need to go. One thing you do need to remember, like I've demonstrated, which I want to do it a little better now, is that all-wheel drive helps you move. It doesn't help you stop. If anything, all-wheel drive vehicles, for similar vehicles, all-wheel drive vehicles are just a little heavier, maybe 200 pounds heavier. That means stopping is going to be that much more of an effort. I'm going to get on the gas and then slam the brakes, and then you'll see what happens. You should be able to see my wheels outside. Release, spin. You know, release, which is spinning, catch, release, catch, you know. So let's go, because of ABS. Okay, brake. I'm sure it's gonna look interesting on that camera over there. Okay, perfect. So that is the first part. I'd like to show you, I'd like to explain something. If you're attentive, you might have noticed that when I was doing my, I guess, high velocity, when I was on the gas a little heavily, you might have noticed a light flashing over here. Watch. Well, obviously it's not gonna do much in neutral. Let's do this. There you go. That light right there says that I've got, these vehicles do not have limited slip differentials, but they've got VDC, vehicle dynamic control, and part of that we have the electric brake slip differential. It's basically using the brake, the ABS module, there you go, to send braking force on the wheel that is just spinning like crazy, because when it's spinning, that means you have no traction. So it holds that wheel, the one that's spinning craziest, so that traction would go to the other wheel that doesn't have traction, or rather that has traction, which is why it's not moving. So again, I've got a video that explains that in a little more detail, but I wanted to just show this. So this is what that does. You might have seen that. This is what that icon looks like. Turn VDC off, and when I turn it off, the light comes on, orange. Generally, if a light is orange over here, that means it's a safety system or technology system that's being turned off. And watch what happens when I do this. Okay, let's just reverse normally at normal speed. Okay, it more or less goes. So here's an interesting thing. I've got these racing brakes, sporty brake setup that squeals all the time, especially when it's very cold. So even when I'm just driving, you'll hear it squealing because the ABS module is trying to do its thing. It's still braking. Okay, so let's go and let's move. This is just slow. Foot off the brake, foot off the gas. It's just going wherever it needs to go. And I'm about to start braking now. There we go. Okay, I'm going to reverse it a little aggressively and watch what happens. Okay, all kinds of lights came on. The ABS light came on. I had the other light, which was lane departure warning, and you saw that little flash come on. So the VDC system actually has two components. One is the brake assisted limited slip differential, right, where it brakes with whatever wheel it needs to work on. But then the second one is that it cuts throttle, it cuts torque. They call that the torque limiting factor, in that instead of, it notices that you're slipping already, right? So it says, well, why are we sending more power to the wheels? You know, more power means more slipping, and what's the point of it? So let me go back a little further because I want a running start. As you can see, that flashing was still happening because it still continues. There you go. It still intends to brake for you as best as it can, but it's less intrusive because you turned off the VDC system. Let's go forward. Okay. In case you didn't really understand what's going on, let me explain this. Let me turn this back on. Turning it on is pushing it. And when the light goes off, that means it defaults to the original state, which is VDC on. Okay, now watch. I'm going to reverse aggressively. Did you notice one thing? Is that my RPM does not exceed 3,000 RPM. And sometimes when going forward, I believe it's something like usually 1,500 for most Infinitis, but this one might have gone to as much as 1,700 RPM. Watch. Okay, going forward, make sure I have the right gear and just hit the gas. So there you go. That's what I call the torque limiting factor. Torque limiting says, hey, no, even if your foot is on the gas, you're not going to go anywhere. And what I'm going to do right now to help this is actually let me put the wheels on on the lawn. Basically, I'm trying to get myself stuck first. And when I get stuck, should be able to see this in action. Okay, I think I'm close enough there. So what I'm gonna do right now is put it in gear, in drive, and turn this off. Then just gas. Let's see where it takes me. I'll go back into the same hole. The things that do for science. It's still moving. It's kind of hard to get this thing stuck, honestly. Okay, let's do it again. I bet my system loves me. I bet my neighbors love me. Yeah, a little bit of excitement for the snow day, you know. Okay, let's take the Vdc on. Okay, gear, do the same thing, just pedal to the metal, you know. I'm flooring the gas right now. Oh, it went over. That's interesting. It went over. But right now, again, on the gas, but it's doing so in a more collected manner, is what I'd say. Okay, so right now though, I'm about to make this even more interesting. So all along, I'm pretty sure you must have noticed that it's all-wheel drive, so all wheels are spinning. You can actually convert this, make the vehicle rear-wheel drive only. They have a transfer case, yes, but the transfer case is usually coupled by an electric solenoid. So I'm going to go and turn off the solenoid. Let's do this. Oh, before I go, did you notice something? I didn't really talk about this, but although I know my speed isn't high, because I have that thing that locks your doors at 15 miles an hour, just because the tires are spinning so fast, it will think that I'm going fast enough to lock the doors. Watch. Oh well. It's kind of useless on that one. Let me do it with Vdc off. Okay. Well, it didn't work out this time. It did work at some point, just kind of hard to show it right now. So let me jump outside. Whoa. Pop the hood. First I have to go to this other camera, make sure that it's still recording. Let's do this. Well, I could call it plowing in a way. At least this part is mostly clear. The Murano never gets stuck. It's a pretty good thing. So here, let's pop the hood. We already popped the hood. Open it. Come here. This fuse box right here, the one on top. This is how I remove it. Just squeeze this way and the other one this way, and then pull them up. I got large hands so I can do it. And what we're going for is this is here. See this ETS fuse right here? ETS, the 10 amp fuse. Yeah, that is electronic transfer solenoid. That is what that means. So I'm going to go for this 10 amp fuse and pull it away. Working on cars so long, 10 millimeters just comes naturally. I don't have the best tool for it, but I'm gonna use my long nose pliers But before I do that, how about we make this a little more interesting? I'd like to know exactly at what point it takes over, it turns over. So let me get my other camera. And I just want to know at what point exactly, hey, it's still standing. I want to know at what point exactly the all-wheel drive light is gonna turn on. So pull this long nose pliers with a hook, with a beak, and it just needs the 10 amp. That's what I'm doing here. Pull. Perfect. Okay. Put this in my pocket. Put this in my pocket as well. Cover that. Pull. Perfect. Okay. Put this in my pocket. Put this in my pocket as well. And we're about to have fun at another level. Whoa, almost slipped over there. Or rather, you're going to see what happens when you turn this into rear wheel drive only. Because what I haven't mentioned is that these vehicles, as much as they come with the all-wheel drive option, they are still rear wheel drive based, which means only the rear wheels turn until they do this 1,000 times a second. They can tell that, yo, the rear wheels are slipping, so let's send some power and traction to the front. So it engages the front axles and becomes all-wheel drive. Watch what happens now. I only have rear wheels spinning. Should. Still moving though, right? There you go. Finally, the all-wheel drive light came on because it's saying, hey, I'm not working. Okay, now going forward, my VDC is still on right now, and that's why you see that happening. So the advantage I've lost is that my front wheels could spin, but obviously now it's not happening. So it's a pointer that's useless for the it's useless for the snow, but if you're trying to have some fun with your system, at least you know what to do. And sometimes, very rarely though, that light might come on because your fuse, basically you can, it rarely happens, but sometimes the circuit could just basically end up popping your fuse, and then that's why that light comes on. So right now my foot is off the gas, but I know that some wheels are spinning probably. Let me turn VDC off and we'll try. There you go, my door's just locked. Again, it's still moving, even with baldish tires. Oh, there you go. Got caught. Perfect. This is what I was trying to show, the difference, right? So this is rear wheel drive only. Only that side is working. What I'm gonna do though, I know I can do it. I want to turn around so you can see what happens once, well, sometimes they usually tell you, because of the torque limiting function of VDC, they usually tell you can actually turn it off so that you can kind of rev your car a little crazier to get out of places, you know, just because as you've seen, the brake assisted limited slip never stops. It's still working. When that is flashing, it's trying to lock your wheels together. That's all I can say. Or it's trying to send power wherever it needs to go. Okay, go. All right, so that's not gonna work. I'm going to go ahead and, ooh, before I do that, this would be a perfect time to demonstrate snow mode. Snow mode, which does not show up in any other way over here, is a way to say, hey, I don't care, you know, you could do this with VDC on or off. Snow mode basically reduces the amount of torque being laid to the wheels, so that when you push on your gas pedal, it doesn't just immediately spin your tires, because again, it's a pretty torquey vehicle, right? So it just does it a little more gently. And when that happens, it might enable you to creep out of, out of a situation. So this is a perfect time to try snow mode, because everything else is off. VDC off for now. Let's see if it helps. Okay. Nope, it says I'm in a hole nice and deep. I'm not moving. Put it in reverse. Seems like I'm going to have to put it in all-wheel drive first. So right here is the difference between all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. It's not like, as I said, all my tires are bald-ish. It's not like it's superior in any other way. It's just that right now my front axle is not doing any work at all. But when you lock up all-wheel drive, oh, it's going to work. Let me do this. Save myself, turn VDC back on, and then watch what happens. It might help, because again, snow mode is on. So I'm going to leave it in drive, and then go around outside and see. Some of these tires might be. There you go. Zero traction is zero traction, right? See, that's just doing its thing. Oh, this other one is locked, of course. Because oh yeah, it's not gonna work. So that's it. From adventurous, I could put it down. Zero. I wanted to give it some traction to climb over my butt, but yep, not happening. Hey, look at the tire. That's what I was talking about. Pretty smooth, huh? Okay, so that's not gonna work because I tried to Okay, I'm about to do one of two things. One, I'm going to turn this off again, or turn it off, then turn it on again to see if that all-wheel drive light comes on immediately or not. It's flashing a certain number of times. I'm going to have to watch it later because it does a sudden self-test as you start the car. I'm sure that's a code or a bunch of codes. Okay, dude, so that's a lot. I was sitting here waiting to see if it will stop, but I don't know if I'm patient enough to watch that. A lot of orange now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is let it be. I'll go back to the hood and reinstall that fuse so that I can get back to having all-wheel drive as needed, right? Okay, let's do this. Oh, it stopped. What just happened? Is it opening the door? Maybe. Let's do it again. I know all of the feature. I know that it happens, but I just don't typically play with it. See, now it's not flashing. Pop the hood. So you've seen that for all intents and purposes, I'm stuck here, right? Let's do this. And this. Let's reinstall that fuse. Mini fuse. Okay, back in. I'm gonna say it now, just in case you find yourself in some issues. It's advisable to do that with your car turned off. That's all I can say. So do as I say, not as I do. Okay, good so far. Back inside here. So the all-wheel drive light is still on. Okay. I believe that if I turn the car off then back on, it's gonna be gone. But I want to have some fun with it first. I want to say, hey, how about we just try to use it, try to engage all-wheel drive and see what happens, right? I'm trying to use my front camera to see if those wheels spin as well. It turned off because I got up to speed. They're not turning, I can tell you that. Reason being, for whatever reason, I know what the reason is. The all-wheel drive control unit says that, hey, let's turn it off. Once this light is on, it means that your all-wheel drive is not functional. It could mean that you've disabled it or that the car has disabled it. Either way, it is disabled. I can hear, oh yeah, still in drive. That's why the car's rocking. The car's rocking. So what I'll do right now is put it in park, turn it off, and turn it back on again. And this time, because it does its self-check in the beginning when you turn on the car, it can tell that, hey, we're fine. So the all-wheel drive light comes on, but these lights usually go off. So when you see your lights right at the beginning of turning on your car, it's saying, hey, let's check this system. Then it turns them off, right? So that's what happens. So that's what happened right there. And you'll notice along with the all-wheel drive system light, you had the IBA, which I thought was because of snow piling. Apparently not. Apparently the IBA system, which is an intelligent brake assist system, IBA, turns off whenever your all-wheel drive system is non-functional, which is an interesting setup. But so I know for sure I can get out of this mess right now. How do I know? Well, just put it in drive and just go. Well, I thought I could. I know I will. Okay, let's do this. See, now I can tell because I can see that wheel spinning over there. It's gonna move. It's just a matter of when. But I know it's gonna move. I can see the other wheel now. But the fact that I've got my front axle turning for me means that I won't be here too long. Usually means that. Am I still in? Oh, I'm still in snow mode. So I guess that right there kind of tells us what we need to know about snow mode. For one, it doesn't matter when you have zero traction. It doesn't really matter. All-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. It doesn't matter. Zero traction is zero traction, right? But if you're just experiencing like a road that has been cleared, just not very well, as an example, snow mode will help you get out of situations, right? It could, or it helps you start, like if you have a very slush-filled road. This one right here obviously doesn't care, but I've taken snow mode off. Let's see, is there any difference with regards to RPM it can go to? Okay, go. It can exceed it, but just not by much. Okay, snow mode. Do you notice it's a little less? or it's a little less likely to go up in. Ooh, is my front one spinning too? That'd be cool to see. I can hear. Oh, it's not. I heard something. Okay, so snow mode limits the RPMs, right? Eventually you can bypass it. It just says as you start, it's going to be a little different. Okay, let's do this and snow mode off. Go. And remember, there's yet another stage, right? The VDC off. So there are levels to this, because now this one just allows you to go crazy. I think the best way, honestly, the best way to drive in most scenarios, even bad weather scenarios, is with VDC on, which means the VDC light is not on. Leave it on off and just drive. Go at it nice and easy. I'm gonna get out of here, by the way. I know I am. I wanted to get stuck. I just didn't know it would be this good. I'm rocking it. I'm like getting to the top of a hill and holding the brake there. I'll get out. Don't worry, I'll get out. Gonna say. All-wheel drive system flashing. There you go. And it's about to turn off my all-wheel drive system because I'm spinning my front axle and not going anywhere. This is really good. I actually didn't know I was gonna get it this bad to like overheat or overwork the system. And this time I'm not turning it off. I'll just hold until it decides to turn off. But I'll still open the door and see what happens. It wasn't the door, so it just timed out by itself. Now I'm curious. The speed changed. I want to see if the front wheels are going to turn this time or not, because the light is flashing. And it's gone. I guess it just said you temporarily disabled. The front wheels are turning. I could see them turning, so as long as the light is not on, you're fine. Oh, I think I got it. I got some good movement here. There you go. We're rocking. And we're rolling. There you go. We got it. We got it. We got it. I'm confident. Actually, pull the camera on. Go. There you go. Told you. Never get stuck. Well, apart from that part right there. It just takes time and still takes some old school skills we learned about how exactly do you get a car unstuck, you know? Means you have to go back and forth a few times, but yeah, we're good. This vehicle can go anywhere it wants to. In fact, I'm gonna go all the way there. Ah, well, dang. Again, just moving. Okay, so, wow, look at the holes I made over there. So this is what I was fighting against. I mean, you can't blame the car for not being able, or for struggling a little bit. This was all the way down, right? But look at that. Right in the lawn, with holes all the way in there. And it rained just a few days before the snow, so yeah, kind of made it go through some stuff. So why did I just keep running my wheels? What was I trying to do? One, I spray. I was trying to set it up in such a way that let it melt whatever was there. I wanted to go as low as possible till it hit the hardest ground it could get. Up here, it was really tough. This one was definitely not on hard ground, still ice. In fact, I just compacted the stuff. Over here, kind of helped a little bit. The whole turning left and right might have hit ground a little bit, but I think that's where it did my best work. So yeah, I think this is good. I'm gonna do a video on snow mode right now that I'm not stuck. Different ways to keep moving, okay? So one, just step on the gas and go. There's a little bit of spinning, but if I put it in snow mode and try the same thing, it's just not going to get on the gas. It's just about the initial. If I keep holding the foot down on the gas, it's gonna get up to whatever speed you want. It just starts a little slower, which it turns out sometimes is not a very big advantage. So yeah, there you go.